Hello! This video is to show you exactly how I like my lessons edited on Canva. That way you will be prepared to edit my lessons and edit Chatterbox Academy lessons, okay? So let's jump on into it. First, I have to say, creating the lessons, editing and creating the lessons is one of the most important parts of the job here at Chatterbox Academy. Uh, our teachers, including myself, depend on these lessons. They need to be accurate, they need to be clear, they need to be easy to understand. And as I just said, accurate, they really need to be accurate. Remember, Chatterbox Academy is a Spanish teaching academy for now. At least we may in the future expand into other languages, but for now, we teach Spanish at Chatterbox Academy. And your role in creating these lessons is you're creating the content that the students are going to learn. Every accent mark, every spelling, every grammatical use of the language must be perfect. Let me say that again, okay? Because this is super important. We are teaching students Spanish with these lessons that you are helping me create. And so your role is to help me get these lessons perfect. The grammar, the spelling, everything has to be perfect. We can't have a single accent mark out of place. That doesn't mean you won't make a mistake sometimes, right? You're human, but we need a very high level of attention to spelling and grammar, word order, detail in every single piece of these materials. This is teaching kids that don't know Spanish what Spanish is. This is their first contact with Spanish in some cases, right? And so when they learn something that's not correct, you've totally messed up their experience with the Spanish language. We want them to love Spanish and we want to make their process easier. And also the accuracy and the like authenticity of these materials really reflect on the Chatterbox Academy brand. All right. I promote Chatterbox Academy as being the Spanish teachers who live in Mexico. We're bringing Spanish to life. We're bringing your kids out there Spanish as it is really spoken right here in Mexico City. Okay? So that's the vision that we have and that's what we promote in our classes. So the materials need to reflect that. The Spanish needs to be excellent, perfect on the spelling and the grammar as I said, but also natural as we speak in Mexico. That being said, let's jump in, okay? So now you understand your role and how important it is for you to get in here. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through exactly what I do to edit these lessons. And I just want to show you a couple of things. First of all, you should have notes at at this current time, at least as you're getting started, you should have notes to tell you exactly what to do. For example, I tell you exactly. Change the picture so it's an outdoor market. Okay, so this picture's already an outdoor market. This lesson's already been edited, but let's go in. Okay, I'm going to go to elements. I'm going to search market. I'm going to look for photos. See all. And then see one that looks good. Remember, these are lessons for kids and teens. If you can see one that kind of looks like Mexico, that would be nice. All of these are kind of ugly. Let's pretend like this one. Okay, great. So, pull it in. Okay, now I'm going to look at this picture and I'm going to say, does that look good? Can I get rid of that or is that going to destroy it? No. Does that look good? It's a little bit off center, so I'm just going to double click and just move it over so it looks nice, right? Actually, that's a meat picture, so that's kind of ugly. So I might go back in and decide, I thought he had vegetables, but since it's meat, it's kind of like not a very nice picture, is it? Okay, well, we'll just get something else. So, did you see what I did though? I'm going in, I'm carefully figuring out if it looks good. That's a really big feature of these lessons too. I want it to look good. I want it to be nice for the visually appealing. Okay, I'm struggling a bit here. Clearly, outdoor market. And obviously mine is in English, right? Yours might not be. That's okay. I'm just going to walk you through this whole process. Okay, I don't know. I just want to get something in here. There. That's pretty. Okay, great. Okay, also, like I said, we want to make sure, we want to look at the page and say, does this look good? Is this visually appealing? This could be bigger, so let's make that a little bit bigger. Scooch it over, kind of make it a line in the middle. See how that line shows up? It's showing up that it aligns in the middle. Good. Also, maybe this could be a little bigger. Maybe not that big. Okay, some of this is going to be up to your judgment. I'm not going to give you instructions for every single page and tell you on every single page every single time. Make sure it looks good. Align the words. Like, this is something that I hope you can look at a page and see if it looks good or not. So, okay, this page, I'm pretty satisfied. Everything looks fairly in line. Great, we got the picture changed. Great. Let's come on down. This page, I will usually say, you don't have to do anything. See, no changes needed here. Awesome. No changes needed here. This is the instruction page for the student. No changes needed. Come on down. This page, again, click on the comment, please. I will tell you. I usually will tell you, add these words. So let's pretend this is not the case, but I'm going to actually move ahead to my next lesson, okay? So I don't mess it up on you. Come on over here. Here we go. Okay, let's say I've got a comment on this page and I actually need to change these words out. So let's pretend that we have a different list of words in the comment. These words are the words that the students are actually going to learn. I'd like to show you where you can find these, and I'm going to be telling you exactly what they are. Okay, so let's take a look. We're at El Mercado. This is part 2, parte dos, right? Okay, this is where I'm going to give you access to join me on Airtable. And this is the entire curriculum for Chatterbox Academy. Please remember that Chatterbox Academy materials are my intellectual property. Do not share these materials, methods, links to any of this, screenshots, anywhere. Not on social media, not with your friends, not on WhatsApp, nowhere. Please do not share this. I worked very hard making all of this, okay? So don't share it with anybody. I can pursue legal action if that is not respected because that is part of your contract. Okay, we're working on, come on. Oh, it's white. We're working on the topic en el mercado. Did you see how it was en el mercado? Okay, so on Airtable, you can expand, make it bigger here, to see the material and the content that I have so far. You are going to be building off of the vocabulary list. Let me show you that. Scroll on down, please, and you can see where it says Shopping El Mercado vocab list. Click it. You can download this for the use of this class. Please do not share it or distribute it with share it with anyone or distribute it anywhere. But yes, of course you can download it to use it, okay? So I've simply taken and I've picked words off of this vocabulary list for both of these lessons, all right? So let's come back and look at it. You see how we have El Mercado Parte Uno, El Mercado Parte Dos. We have both of them. So we have to think about the words that have been used on the vocab pages. You see how it says vocab page? So every word here, look, cambio, descuento, la talla, los probadores, etc., etc. Every word on the vocab page for El Mercado Parte Uno comes from the actual vocabulary list, right? The same thing for El Mercado Parte Dos. Both of the lessons are going to have, let's come on down here. You see how I'm clicking here? This shows me a grid view of everything. So that was El Mercado Parte Uno vocab page, usually page 4 of the lesson right now. Let's come on down. I'll usually have a white page for you dividing the lessons to make it easy. And then we have El Mercado Parte Dos. Go on to page 4 of that lesson, usually 1, 2, 3, 4. There it is. You see how it says vocab page? Check it out. Vocab page, look, la compra, el mercado, barato, caro. Let's check it out again. La compra, el mercado, barato, caro. I cannot get every single word, obviously. There's a lot of words on this list, right? But I've chosen 16 of the most important words. Now listen, I will often have a comment like so. I'll put you a comment on Canva. And I'll say like, add these words to this page, and then I'll have like 8 words listed. I might not. I might just say, please use the vocab list to select 8 words from this theme, for this theme, right? Maybe I'll do that. You'll still have the information that you need, okay? Okay, here's some really important things. I actually forgot to finish this page, but let's finish this page and I'll go back, okay? Because I don't want to confuse you jumping between pages. A couple of really important things that we need to look at. First of all, another instruction is every one of these pictures should illustrate the point somehow, right? You're going to have to swap out the pictures. Let me show you how to do that. First of all, you see how I made a mistake here. This is a video. That's not going to work out. So let's go to, this is supposed to be la compra, the purchase in English. I always want a realistic looking picture, so this is pretty realistic. Okay, you have to use your best judgment and just think about this. Think about kids and teens are using these lessons, okay? So we want it to be, interesting for teens if possible. This kind of looks fun, like this little shopping cart. So take it, drag it in there. You see? You can just drag it in there and replace it. You don't need to be putting it on and resizing. Just drag it and replace it and it resizes for you. You don't have to like resize everything. Okay, let me get another one. I'm going to say open air market because I want number 2, el mercado. I want a picture that will work for that. This looks cool. Again, click, hold it down, and just drop it in there. Drop it in there. Don't try to resize it. You'll waste your time. Okay? Okay, also, once again, we're looking at this page and we're saying, okay, first of all, is the Spanish right? Are the words spelled correctly? Very important. Second is, what does it look like? I can see that some of this is a little bit messy looking, right? So, okay, these look decent. We want to keep the words about the same size, right? You see how there's no reason. Did you see the size difference here? This word is 40.2 points, right? And this word over here is 41.4. Like, why? They don't need to be different. They don't need to be different. So what I'll do is I'll typically just click this little rolly thing to copy the format. So I've selected it, right? Copy, and then just come on over here and click it, and it'll make it the same size, okay? These little details really do matter. So I'm just going to make sure all of these are the same size. This is why I need your help, because there are little details that make the lesson look very polished that take some time, and I really don't have time to do this, but I want my lesson to look fantastic. I want it to be a great lesson for my teachers to use, okay? Okay, so there's that. Let's also talk about, like, you do not need to move these numbers, okay? These numbers can just stay here. Don't move them. Keep them here. You don't need to move the line. You don't need to move these instructions or change these instructions. Please keep that the same. Okay, what I do want to move is, can you see the inconsistency here? Like this word's up here. I want these things in line. I want them to be nice. And again, you see the difference in the sizes? Make them the same size. There's no reason for everything to be different sizes. So we're going to go 41.4, 41.4. Just copy it, make it decent. Okay, and now let's try to get things decently in line. Okay, so if I can, I like to have the words lined up with each other. So can you see those purple lines? It's showing me it's directly in the middle of the picture. That's really where I want it. The picture above it is where it should be in the middle. Sometimes it won't do it for you. You might have to move it around a little bit to play with it, but the idea is we want things to look nice on this page, right? Okay, so that's right now, I'm not going to keep fighting with it. It looks pretty much in the middle, but let's try to also see that, line it up on the side. You see that line over top? Line it up with the other words on the page, if you can, okay? Sometimes it will fight with you. There, that's perfect. Oops, perfect. It's lined up right with the other ones. It's lined up in the middle of the thing above it. Perfect. Same thing. Okay, can you see what I'm doing? I am simply getting things in line the best I can. Actually, this one wasn't quite right, was it? Because it wasn't in. The idea is I want you to make it look good. I want it to look good. Okay, so I'm going to go through and just work on that real quick, and then I'll show you the next thing here. So again, well, you get the point. We're just lining things up and trying to make it look nice. This is tedious. I know. It's tedious, it's a little annoying. That's really what I want. That's the gold standard right there. Awesome. But if you can make it happen, it's so nice and it just looks so much more professional, okay? And then we got these two. These red words should be, you got to kind of think like a gringo, okay? The red letters are, as you see here, they tell the student how to pronounce the word. Most of our students are gringos, okay? They're white American kids. They don't know how to pronounce Spanish. So we're going to write in the red words, the red letters, write out the pronunciation of that Spanish word as if you were a non-Spanish speaker and say, okay, la compra. Okay, good. Write that out like that. El mercado, barato, caro. Okay, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. And I also want to, again, line these up, make it look pretty. These are a little messy looking. I'm struggling to get a hold of it, but okay. A little bit messy, so I'm just going to move things around so it doesn't look messy anymore. You get the point. Also, make sure all of that looks good. All right? Make sure the red letters actually represent the word that you wrote. Sometimes you end up accidentally, leaving a pronunciation guide for a previous lesson. Just check that. Look, like this. This is a great example. Mediana, look, it says medir. That doesn't make sense. Okay, so I might say that's mediana. I put as big letters because that's the strong syllable. And you see how it's crooked, right? Nah, I don't like that. I want it to be kind of in the middle. Best I can, okay? Also, again, you see how we got a huge difference in the letter size? Let's make the letters the same. And then I'm going to fix that. Okay? So I'm going to take that. I don't see over here over here, how those words run into each other. I need to stretch that out. I got to pay attention to detail, is what I'm trying to tell you. We got to pay attention to detail. Let's scooch this up here. So a lot of it is going to be your judgment to look at the words and see what looks nice. So I'm going to move this around. This word, we could put it up here, maybe. You can make it bold. I'm not going to have an individual, see, I'm making it bold. I'm playing with this to see what looks good, okay? I'm not going to have an individual instruction for every single possibility, but the point is there are certain things I definitely want. I want the words to look good. There we go. That's medium. You see how this says to fit now? That doesn't mean to fit. Grande, that means large, so we can delete this. We're looking for mistakes, right? Okay, to look for, I'd like that. I have this one bold, so let's make that one bold too. It doesn't need to be italicized. See, a lot of this is just being very, very careful, meticulous, careful, checking for detail, checking to make sure things look good. Make sure it's easy to read, right? You got to think about this and look at this and say, a student is going to see it something like this. Okay, let's just delete everything. Okay, so make it bigger. Take a look and see, is this easy to read? If I'm in a class learning this, can I tell that, okay, this word over here is small, pequeña. Can I kind of see that that's the pronunciation that goes with pequeña? Do the words look fairly neat and in a line? Are they big enough? I like to make them pretty big, right? Use your common sense and best judgment to see what looks nice, what's easy to see, make sure it's all spelled right, make sure the words are matching, make sure the English translation is actually the English translation of the word on the page. Okay, because as you saw, I left down here to fit. That was from a previous lesson. That doesn't mean grande, that's like quedar. That's not good. Yeah. So mediana, there we go. Okay, I hope that I've explained the vocabulary pages to you well. So a lot of this is, again, you looking at it and seeing what looks good, what is easy to read. Some of this doesn't look good right now, right? I would say over here, like this is a great example of not great. Like the words are running into each other. It's kind of a mess. So I'm going to take some time to edit this. I'm going to take some time to look and say, okay, look, this English word is bold, so I'm going to do this English word bold. This English word's kind of in the picture, so maybe I could try to repeat that. Try to keep it consistent. Okay, so it looks nice and professional. Okay, so that's the vocabulary page. And of course, final step on every page, what are we doing? We're checking the grammar. We're checking the spelling. We're checking, look, you see how my letter got out of, scooch it, move it. There you go. You see how I didn't put it in the exact same place? Like these are kind of up in the corner. That's okay. Put it where it looks good. Put it where you can read it. Put it where I would look at this and immediately say that word, the purchase, goes with that picture. Not that word, maybe it goes with this one, maybe it goes with this one. No, like make it easy. Make it easy to see, okay? All right. I hope I've explained that. Let's go on. Seguimos. Complete the phrase. Completa la frase. Okay, this page, we need to come up with, first of all, this list of words is simply this list of words. So what I would do is I would open up my little notepad. I got my notepad. I actually already wrote these here because I did this lesson. See? Write them down. Write down your words. You're also going to need this later, okay? Write these words down on your notepad, and then you come down here and you are going to swap out those words. Now, this is exactly the same list, right? Okay. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3. I also push Control A to select all, Control V to paste. I've pasted my list. It's that easy. This is the list that the students will be working off of to fill in the blanks. So it needs to be right, and make sure they can read it. Make sure also that those phrases, one phrase per line, okay? So let's pretend like we had a longer phrase. I don't know. Let's say like los pantalones cortos. Can you see how los pantalones cortos just went on to 2 lines? That's confusing. The students are not going to understand that. They're going to think that's 2 different options. So take a minute, stretch it out. There you go. Is it easy to read? Is it, you got to look at that. No, I can't read that now. Okay, so you might have to take los pantalones cortos and move it up a little bit. Let's go Control X. Maybe I'll put it up, maybe up here. You have to use your best judgment to make sure. Can I read it? Does it make sense? Maybe that one needs to be a little bit smaller to fit in there. See what I mean? Now, pantalones cortos is not one of them, so I'm just going to get rid of that. But that was just to illustrate the point, okay? So make sure that looks good. Make sure the words are spelled right. Make sure it fits well. Make sure they can read it, okay? And I'm actually going to move it over a little bit because the issue with it being over there is sometimes it gets chopped off. Your job is to make sure it's easy to read, easy to understand, and clear, okay? You don't need to change the instructions. You don't need to change the English here. You don't need to change this. That's fine. Okay, now our job is, oops, we're missing a 1. What have I done? Make sure there's no numbers missing. Make sure there's no stuff missing. That looks pretty good. Okay. Okay, so number 1 is going to be an example. Okay, so you can take one of these words and put it in the blank. And you see how the difference, the font is different here? I want this font to be different because it looks kind of like you wrote it in there, okay? That's supposed to be the example. So it's talla grande. So when I'm teaching it, I'll go in and say, okay, grande's been done, everybody. We already did that one. Okay, let's go to number 2. Number 2, I'm looking for shoes. I'm going to show you how we teach it so you understand. Okay, the student is going to come up here and say, which word means I look for? They're going to have to pick. And you see how buscar, okay. Buscar, and then I'll have the students help me conjugate that. Don't worry. Okay, guys, buscar is good. Now let's change that to Matt's yo, okay? Because it's I'm looking for shoes. This is how I'm going to use it. Did you notice what did I not do here? I did not have number 2, la compra, number 3, el mercado, number 4, barato. No, that is way too easy. So like please don't take these words and put them in like in order here. Mix them up, please. So like, you see la compra? That is like, where did I put it? Number 7. And then I did el mercado. Oops, sorry. El mercado, which is the number 2 on the list, that's number 4. They need to be mixed so the students can have something to choose from, okay? Okay, you're going to have to change the pictures out. I actually like to use, a lot of times I will use the same pictures. Why is this so messy? I will just use the same pictures. Did you notice that's the same picture? Right there? Okay? If you go in and you go into elements, and you go into, they should show you your history here. Recently used is what it should say. Ah, okay. Make sure that's clear. And then you can go to recently used, and you can see the ones you already used. Just use the same picture. Use the same picture. Okay, so for example, that's the girl I used for purchase. So I click, drag, and drag it in there, and it's the same size. Again, don't resize it. Just leave it like that. It's faster. Okay? Now, this is one that I already wrote. This is not going to be like this. Let's pretend like it said this. I don't know. A good meal. And it's going to say something like this. The point is, you're going to get this page and it's not going to say that what you want it to say. You're going to have to change it, okay? So you see how I'm trying to fit in buscar, look for, and this like that's completely not the same thing as the picture. Okay, so now I have to think, let me think about a phrase that would make sense. Right? And we just thought, and I'm doing underlining for a space. I'm leaving a space for busco unos zapatos. And you have to think of that. What would be a short, easy sentence or phrase that would be good? And then make sure the English actually is the translation because it does not make sense. It's confusing. Students don't know what on earth this is. If you're trying to get them to say busco unos zapatos and you're telling them it means a good meal, that does not make any sense. That needs to be right, right? So I'm looking for some shoes. Again, make sure it looks good. That's a little bit a little bit messy, a little bit crowded. I'm using my best judgment here and I'm going to stretch it out and then I'm going to just kind of scooch it over a little bit. You know, you get the point, okay? So every one of these phrases, every one of these mixed up, it should be a picture illustrating the point, usually the same as these, okay? But mix them up. Do not put them in the same order. Please don't put them in the same order. That's way too easy. Mix them up. Think of a phrase or a short sentence that would be easy for students to fill in the blank. Make sure the English is correct. And the last thing you're going to do here, as usual, double check, please, your spelling and your grammar in Spanish. Please, because it is terrible when students get the wrong information and it really, really wastes my time because I have to go back and fix it. The whole reason I've hired a virtual assistant, right, is so that I don't have to go fix it. That I can ask you to help me do this. Now, it just so happens that these are all correct, right? I did this already, I think. There could be a mistake. I do make mistakes, okay? But the point is, I don't have to go through right now and change all of this because I already did. I rewrote the sentences to match what I wanted. I want this to say voy al mercado. Students have to pick mercado up here, right? Okay, you get the point. That's that one. Now, some of these pages are going to be different, and I'm going to give you specific instructions. So you're not always going to have the exact same page. Like this page is not going to exist for every single one. In that case, I'm going to give you a comment on the side telling you specifically what to do. No matter what the page is, though, we always need to double check for grammatical accuracy, for spelling, making sure if there's any English translations, they actually are the translation of what the Spanish says, right? Please. If there's a picture, it should represent kind of at least what the Spanish word is saying, right? So for example, if we come back up here and I said, I don't know, like this is supposed to be grande, right? It's obviously a very big dog. If it was a Chihuahua, you'd be like, okay, that doesn't make sense. You're going to have to think about, does the picture kind of make sense? Please, okay? Make sure things make sense for me. Okay, so this one, we'll come back. We're always going to be checking to make sure spelling and grammar are correct. Okay, let me get a quick drink here. Excuse me. Okay, here are a couple of things that I want to check with you. So this is you see how it says grammar practice niños menos de 10 años. The grammar practice here is going to be pretty simple for the students. They're just going to pick something. But once again, I will give you like a comment telling you exactly like what to do here. The most important thing is make sure that the Spanish is right. Make sure the English is the actual translation, please. For example, I had to edit this. Here this says, yo me medí la ropa, right? And it said in English, we tried on the clothes. That's not what yo me medí la ropa is. I tried on the clothes, not we tried on the clothes, right? Make sure that makes sense. Make sure the pictures match the theme, right? This one's good because you got some clothes trying on. This is actually really cute. The little doggy. Cute, right? But if it was like, I don't know, a hamburger, that would not make any sense. Make sure that's correct, okay? Also, if we have instructions in Spanish, make sure the instructions in Spanish are matching the words in English. So what I'm asking you to do a lot is just look carefully at the details and make sure it makes sense. Okay? Okay. Same thing here. Same thing here. Make sure the grammar's correct. Make sure the English translation and the Spanish are correct. I'll tell you exactly what to write here. Okay? In this video, I can't possibly cover every single possible page that I'll ask you to do, but mostly what I'm asking you to do is edit pages. I'm not really asking you to create content from scratch, except in this case, sort of. Okay, now we're going to do a short reading passage for students based on the theme, okay? So here's what I would do. If I was you, I would make heavy use of ChatGPT. We are going to do it today, my friend, because there is no reason you should have to sit and think about this. So here's what you're going to do. You remember that list you put on your little notepad? We're going to copy our list and we're going to come into ChatGPT and say, "Hey ChatGPT," you can say it in Spanish. It's easier for me to say it in English. I'm going to say, "Please give me a 5-sentence short story written for teens learning Spanish at level," you could say for this, A2. How do you know it's A2? Look. A2, A1, A2. Why did I say A2? Because this is Español dos. This is Spanish 2, okay? If you're working on a Spanish 1 lesson for me, you might want to go A1. If you're working on a Spanish 3 lesson for me, you might want to go B1, okay? This is based on the European framework for languages, and typically it's going to be A1, excuse me, A2. In case you don't know, you probably know this already, but just in case you don't know, okay? B1, B2, C1, C2. And by the way, we're probably not ever going to go into the C's. This is my level of Spanish, okay? So I don't dare approach this or this in our factory. Yeah, in our academy. We're usually doing A2, A1, A2, B1 typically. Okay. Okay. So that's how you know which level to tell ChatGPT, because you probably will be working on some different levels for me. At level A2, okay, based on this vocabulary, and then paste the words that you use to tell it exactly what words we're looking for. Go. Let's see what it comes up with. Okay. Good, good, good. Okay, let's read this. Ana va al mercado para hacer la compra con su familia. Ella busca una camiseta barata, pero también mira una que es muy cara. Primero ve una camiseta pequeña, pero no le gusta. Después prueba una mediana y otra grande. Al final compra la camiseta mediana porque es bonita y barata. This is fine. There's nothing wrong with this. Double check that ChatGPT is grammatically correct and that it is using the words correctly. Sometimes it will put in phrases that sound weird, that sound robotic, that sound really like español de España, y no me gusta porque digo que yo enseño, nosotros enseñamos español de México. Quiero que se oiga bien, ¿no? I want it to sound good. I want it to sound good in Mexico, not weird, okay? Okay, so I've used ChatGPT. I've checked it. I like the way it sounds. I'm careful. Did you notice what I just did? I copied the section that I want. I didn't copy the whole thing because look what happens. Let's come back. I'm sure you know this, but let's come in here. I'm going to triple click to select everything, hopefully. Good. And I'm going to paste it. And did you see here? It has the instructions. Aquí va una mini historia de 5 frases. Please do not put that in here. Delete that. Make sure you are careful and you are checking. Okay, now, obviously this is messy. I'm simply going to be moving it. There you go. Okay, still kind of messy. Still doesn't really look like a story. I'm just going to relining things up so it looks like a story. That's it. That's it. That's it. Blip, blip, blip. That's all I'm doing. Okay, now you have to look at this and say the red words here actually should be words that the students may not know. You might not know that though. If you've been working for a long time on my curriculum with me, you might kind of have an idea of where my students are in the curriculum and what they should know and what they don't know yet. You might not, and that's okay. So you might just choose to just delete those. Okay, that's fine. Okay, now down here, we're going to have questions and answers based on the short story. If you can't think of anything, don't use ChatGPT. Please give me, I don't know, give it like 4. Give you some ideas. Give me 4 comprehension questions for the students based on the text. If text, if possible, give them to me in Spanish. Good. Okay, let's see what it comes up with. Use ChatGPT, please. Okay, these are pretty good. Now you can look at these and decide. Kind of like all of them. Okay. Um, I'm gonna take 2 and 3. Yeah, I'm gonna take 2 and 3. I like 2 and 3, so I'm gonna copy those. Okay, now I have to think about, again, what am I doing? I'm copying and pasting. I don't want that to be like that, so let's see if we can get those weird things off. And we only want 1 question here, 1 question at the bottom. Let's Control X. Okay. ¿Qué busca Ana en el mercado? And then we're going to start the answer. Ana busca blah, 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 blah. And maybe I might even finish off with en el mercado. The idea is I want to prompt the students to speak in a full sentence. They are lazy and they will not. Now, you see how the sentence is pretty simple? ¿Qué busca Ana en el mercado? That sentence is something they should know. How do you know that? Because these words are in this lesson. Okay, look at the words that you actually helped me put in here. They learned the word buscar. They learned the word mercado. There's no reason they really need English here. They shouldn't need an English translation. But if it is a question that is a little bit more complex, let's take a look at some of these. Actually, all of these are pretty easy questions. If it's a more complex question, you might want to write in this. What does Anna look for in the market? Okay, now here's what I would do. Let's put it up here. I think that doesn't look good, so I'm going to make it, kind of move it over. I like to scooch it over and unbold it and go like this. I like to italicize it because that's not the focus, right? That's kind of a extra helpful note just in case, right? But it's not supposed to be the focus. Do you see what I mean now? Let's look at this. It should be easy to tell where the student should focus their attention here. Okay? And down here, let's check out this. ¿Qué tamaños de camisetas ve Ana? What's the problem here? Did you notice? The student didn't learn the word tamaño today. The student learned the word talla. So maybe we could do a que tallas. Make sure that sounds good though. If I'm telling you put tallas, pero tú sabes que talla no se usa en este contexto, no lo pongas, okay? Just put what sounds good. Okay, good. And also, did you notice the English here? Not helpful. Not helpful. It's not correct, right? If you want the English here, what sizes of t-shirts does Anna see? Okay, I'm going to scooch it up. I want to make it clear. And I might even, see how I'm just like, I'm duplicating. You see the duplicate button? Duplicate, line it up. Try to line, you see how it's lining up now? Okay. Ana, be, and then we're going to move a space for the students, okay? Very nice. We also want to change the pictures. The kids that know immediately if it's the same pictures, and it makes it look like it's the same old lesson, okay? So I know it's just a psychological thing, but it's not good to have the same pictures. Okay, so remember, these are classes for teens and kids. So we want teens and kids in these pictures. Don't put a businessman in this picture. They cannot like relate to that, okay? So I'm going to go to elements. Elements. I'm going to say teen girl because the story is about Anna, okay? Don't put a picture of a boy here. This is supposed to be Anna. You have to pay attention to what you're doing. I'm going to go photos, teen girl. Oh, okay. I like this one. So here she is. Okay, let's background remover. Yes, you should have a background remover. Please remove the backgrounds. Don't leave it like this. Okay. Okay. All I'm doing now is moving things around. I got this girl. We're gonna remove Anna's, that girl. I think I want her to be a little smaller. So all I'm doing is resizing things. That's it, right? I'm resizing. I'm moving it around. I'm making sure we can read it. That's it. That's it. Okay. You see how my logo now is behind Anna? Let's bring the logo to the front. Right click. Come on down. Layer. Bring to front. There you go. Logo should be in the front. Scooch her over. Make sure she's not covering the words. The background picture should also be changed. What's the topic of this? El mercado, right? We're thinking about the context of the lesson for everything. For the pictures, for the words we're using, everything, okay? So maybe say, again, I don't know. Think about maybe outdoor clothes market because the story was about her looking for shirts, t-shirts, right? So let's try to make the pictures make sense. Oh, look, there's a fish market. I'm not going to do that. Okay, there's kind of a neat looking market. Let's just make sure. Yeah, it's got clothes. Okay, so now I can right click it and just say replace background. Okay, that's good. Excellent. Okay, it's okay that this is blank. I can go in and fix that later. Okay, good. Now what's your final step? You already know what I'm going to say. Check the spelling. Check the grammar. Please. Double check. That's like one of the main reasons I need you with me, okay? Make sure the English is the correct translation. Okay. Excellent. Okay, now we're going to get into some of the extra steps. This is the fun stuff. This page doesn't need a lot of changes, but it does need one very important change. That's the interactive change. Okay. Click here. You see how that's a link. We're going to make that link here together. And we're going to make it fast. We're going to use ChatGPT to help us. I love ChatGPT. Okay, this is where my dear list comes into play. You have your list of words. Also, I forgot to tell you, come back to the story and pick out a couple more words from your story. So we have these words, right? But you might also, I'm going to take a look at it and I'm going to say, what are some other good words I see here? Maybe I could put in, I don't know, mirar. He says, también mira una que es muy cara. Okay, mirar. Let's put in muy, because we see muy cara. No le gusta. Can you see the phrase there? Get in the word después. Make sure it's spelled correctly. We're going to put in probar. When I put in a verb into these lists, I like it to be the infinitive. Can you see it's prueba? Please don't put prueba because that's going to be confusing. Put probar, the unchanged, unconjugated version, okay? Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm going through, I'm seeing, is there any other words I could get on here? Maybe we could do al final. That would be a good phrase for students to practice with, right? They know por qué, but it would be a good review phrase. Good. Okay, scooching on over. Bonita y barata. I love that. Let's put in bonita. Okay, good. So now we have a pretty good list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 15 to 20 words is pretty good. What we're going to do is we're going to create a review game for these students to go into this lesson. So here you go. Let's copy. We're going to do it fast. We're going to use ChatGPT, okay? All right, so I'm going to tell ChatGPT very specifically these words, okay? Use this prompt. Please give me this list formatted in code. Tell it specifically, formatted in code to paste directly into tell it Quizlet website. Tell it this exactly, okay? I spelled directly wrong. It does not matter if you spell something wrong on ChatGPT. Please give me this list formatted in code to paste directly into the Quizlet website with their English translations. And then I like to maybe tell it, remember, this is Mexican Spanish. Okay, then you're going to paste your words. Then you're going to check it. You're going to send it to ChatGPT. Here you go, formatted exactly for Quizlet. Okay, check it first. Make sure it's right. Make sure these words make sense. To look for, to look at, very, no le gusta, she doesn't like it. It could be she doesn't like or he doesn't like, right? Afterward, probar to try al final the end. Okay, this looks pretty good. This looks pretty good. Once you've checked it, you check it. You check it. You can click copy code. Now we're going to go to something called Blookit. Blookit is free. Okay, I'm going to show you how to use the Blookit website. We're going to click create. This takes a matter of seconds, okay? This is pretty sweet. Okay, now over here for cover image, we're just picking a picture that kind of goes on theme. So click on search for images. Well, I might put open air market because that's the theme of this lesson. I might pick one that's clothing related because remember a lot of let's go open air clothes market. A lot of the themes for today was about talla mediana, pequeña, grande, right? So let's come on over here. Find one that looks good. That looks pretty cool. Don't overthink it, okay? First thing we're going to put is español dos. How do you know it's español dos? You already know the answer to that question, but I'm going to show you again. Okay, we're going to come back, click the grid view if you need to, or scroll, whatever you like. I like to click grid view. Click grid view. There you go. The page you have selected will kind of be purpley. Go back to the first page of the lesson and it says Español dos. Yay! We know it's Español dos. Okay, great. Español dos. Make sure the name of the game matches the name of the lesson. Okay? What's the name of the lesson? Let's come back. Click on that title page. El Mercado Parte Dos. That's what it should be. Okay? El Mercado Parte Dos. I don't care if there's a description, so you don't need it. We don't care. Come on down. Creation method. Click Quizlet import. Click create. I don't care about this. Just click on step 1, find a set. Just click next step. Step 2, how to export. Scroll down and just click next step. Here is where you're going to paste. So you can right click and click paste, or you can just make sure the blinking cursor is there. Do you see that? Make sure it's in there, and then you can press Control V. V as in like be como vaca, okay? It's there. Do you see how I pasted? Click add questions, watch the magic. Look at this. The game is ready. And then you click save set. Okay, now you're going to scroll down, find that set that you just created. So we're going to look for that picture. Should be at the bottom. There it is. See? That's the one we just made. Español el mercado parte dos. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to click the little gear in grande and click link. Copied. See that? Okay, come back to your lesson. Sample lesson plan for VA. I'm going to click grid view again because I want to go toward the end. This is where we were working. We already did these pages. Back toward the end. Where was I? Where was I? Where was I? Oh yeah, I was working on this page. Okay, so I'm going to double click to make that bigger. Double click to make that bigger. There you go. You do not need to change any of this stuff. All you got to change is this. Click here. Click this little pencil to edit the link. Delete the old link. Paste the new link. Done. Now, test the link. Make sure it's right. So click on it and see which one it opens. Good. Español dos, el mercado parte dos. Excellent. It worked. Okay? Scrolling down, you do not need to do anything to this page. Okay, now, my friend, we are ready. We are ready to download this lesson. I like to go to grid view just to see, okay, what pages am I looking at here? I only want to download the one lesson, right? I don't want to download all of them because this might have 15 lessons. So we're going to go from this page to this page. Here, let me show you. You should have, like after it, I'll give you an ender page, duplicate. You'll have something like this. So you'll be able to see in between the two white pages to know what you're doing. Okay, so I've got number 13 all the way up to number 23. Let's download that sucker. Let's go. We're going to go share. Download. Not PDF standard is okay. Do not check any of these things, please. Why? If you flatten it, the link to the game will not work. So make sure that is not checked, please. Okay? Pages 1 to 24, that's not what we want. We already saw page 13 is what we wanted. 13 all the way to 23. Okay, so let's do this. I'm just going to, I don't like how it does that to me, but let's scroll down. I'm just going to select 13 to 23. I'm going to be careful and make sure I've got the right pages. Okay. 13, 21, 22, 23. Stop. Click done. Make sure it's 13 to 23. I don't care. It says limited media playback. I don't care. Click download. We're not quite done yet. Okay, see, it's happening. At least this is on my Windows computer. One download in progress. It's done. Okay, this is great, but here's the problem. Let's come to my downloads. Downloads. Well, can you see the problem? It's the name of it is a hot mess. Sample lesson for VA. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. So we're going to rename this puppy. What do you think we're going to name it? Rename Español dos underscore en el mercado parte dos. And I like to put maybe, I'll put lección. I put it in Spanish because my one teacher does not speak English, okay? Name it very specifically. Yes, it's tedious. Please be specific. The name will help me to find it and will help me know what it is. Now what are we going to do? We're going to open it and check it. Double click. Okay. El mercado parte dos, good. I could have made those words a little better, but that is not a huge thing that you need to go back and fix. I also probably should have picked a picture that matches the clothes. I don't care. It's fine. Okay. What I really care about is just take a look at it. Make sure you can read the words. Make sure they didn't get all crazy because they do that sometimes. You see how I'm kind of rushing through this because I've already taken my time to carefully check each page. I'm just giving it a quick look over right now. Okay. And then here's the part I really want to check. Click this and make sure it works. Yep, it works. Perfect. Now we're going to upload it. Google Drive. Okay, we're going to go to Google Drive. And we're going to go to Curriculum, Chatterbox Academy. Just upload it directly here. Actually, yeah, just upload it directly here, like so, and I will move it for me. I'll move it wherever I want it, okay? So that's all I'm doing. I'm going to go to Downloads. Make sure you get the right thing. You see how mine are a little bit out of order, so it might not be the top one. Español dos en el mercado parte dos, lección, open. It's uploading. Make sure it finishes. Boop. There you go. Okay. There you go. You have uploaded a lesson. Okay. I hope this has been helpful for you to understand how I like my lessons edited. And I know that was a lot of information, but I hope that all of the specifics really, really help you. Remember, you can always go back and watch this video to see how I do my lessons, tips and tricks. Again, the most important part is that it's accurate because mistakes cost us so much. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, I'm happy to help. Muchas gracias.